Hey guys, how's it going? Welcome to this little last minute sort of live stream that I'm doing here. I figured I had everything set up yesterday and I thought I'd work a little bit more on this setup and see if I can get some more lights, make it look a little bit nicer, work on the audio a little bit. So it's cool to see some of you already here today. So thank you for coming. Thank you for joining me. That was a little jam that I just kind of made up real quickly before I started to make sure everything's good. Plus, to be honest, kind of improvising ideas like that really helps. Really helps to kind of get into the mindset. If you're ever like kind of, for me anyway, I always like to just do something like this just to kind of get into the headspace of playing music and stuff like that. Cool, so I do see some of my patrons are here today, so I appreciate that. So any of you patrons who are here and who I don't really know that is a patron, make sure to let me know in the comments so I know, because I will be giving priority to all my patrons as far as any questions, any requests that they have, anything revolving anything. So if you're a patron, let me know in the comments and let me know what your name is so I can make sure to pay more attention to you guys, because you guys are really supporting me a lot, so I really appreciate that. So I thought I'd give back and do something for my patrons here. Yeah, thank you. Here's a nice, thank you, Raha. Very crisp. Yeah, I think I'm using a new camera here. Well, not a new camera, but it's a new lens that I'm using. I'm usually using a 35mm lens, so today I'm using a 16mm lens, which is just a little bit wider and crisp. It's definitely very, very clean. The thing is, I've got good lighting here today too. So that is like, I think I made a post a couple days ago about that, about how the importance of lighting and video. Yesterday I did a live stream. If any of you guys caught that, maybe you saw. Maybe you can do a compare, before and after between this quality, because now I've got actual lights. You guys can't see that, but I got 3 different light sources here behind everything that's going on. So you get a nice little bokeh effect in the back, a little blurred background, it helps. It's all fun. But let me know about the volume. Guys, if you're able to hear everything, can you hear my voice equally to the guitar playing maybe? I've got a little mic here. It kind of has everything, kind of picking up everything a little bit, but I do have all my effects going to a different signal. So here's a good question from Glowing Stone Sparks. What kind of chair do you use for a guitar playing that allows you a good posture? I just made a video about this. I'll be posting that soon, soon-ish anyway. I got another few other videos I want to post before that, but the video is basically describing how to properly sit, and I can just very kind of briefly go over what I have. Right now I'm sitting on a cajon. Cajon, so that's about, I don't know, about 2 feet maybe off the ground, 1.5 foot, something like that. So I'm sitting on that. It's a nice cajon, to be honest. It's a pretty expensive cajon, but I don't really play cajon that much these days, so I use it more as a chair for me. It's just a very comfortable seat. And for that, other than that, I have a footrest, so I want to sit, just kind of give the importance of this. Okay, this is just a normal guitar footrest. I might have a link in this in the description after, but I use this at the highest setting because when I use this, look at my right leg. It's propped up a good foot above. And all of a sudden, you see, like, if this is my hip and this is my thigh, what happens is this is greater. So in a way, when the guitar sits here, it's locked in place, right? So where this is the guitar, so it's locked. It can only really tip from the top part of it. But locking this position like this allows me to have better posture. Also, if I didn't have a footrest, I'd be like, slouching down even more. So no one wants that. So when you're playing, I think one of the most important things is, like, sometimes when we get in the zone, we forget the importance of like sitting up straight. And that's something that I'm really aware of. I did talk briefly about that yesterday as well, about some exercises. Again, I'll be making videos about all these sorts of common questions that I'm getting a lot, which is great. I'm really glad that you guys are asking those. But yeah, so let's see. So someone's asking here, Arcane asking about the guitar back there. This guitar here, first of all, is my signature model guitar. This was kind of the prototype, number 0. That right there is number 1, I believe, because what we had to do is the wood combination of this, I think some of the wood combination in the original one we weren't really allowed to use anymore, so we had to make some adjustments. So I think that this is rosewood neck, and I think on that guitar we used black bean or white bean. I don't really remember, but they're very similar guitars, just the inlay is different. The inlay in that one says MJ versus this one is just a nice abalone sort of, or abalone, I don't even know how to pronounce that, but it's really nice. So they both have the same pickup system. To be honest, they're really identical guitars. I just brought this one out today out of the case, to be honest, to see if I could play it, because I haven't played it ever since I got it a few months ago. But I'm glad you guys are all noticing little things behind me. Yeah, so here's a... So Lala99 is asking about the guitar that's behind me, right there. I can't do that. There we go. That's it. So this guitar is a very special guitar here that I have hung up. It's hung up. It's not meant to be played. I remember I had a party once, not at this place, but an old house that I used to live in, and there was this girl who like just picked up the guitar and started playing it. I'm like, oh God, please don't, because the neck, the bridge is coming off. It's like the glue has come off. It's a crappy guitar. But to be honest, that's my first acoustic guitar ever. I bought it for I think $100 on Amazon right before we moved from America to Canada. Pretty crazy, and so I still have that guitar today. The reason I hang it up like that, and you guys can't see, but I have around it all my festival tags, my festival name tags and stuff. It's kind of like a little shrine of all the places I've been and all the places I've played in. I'm very thankful for all that. So I think having it up there is a nice little reminder for me of kind of where I came from with guitar and how blessed I am to be doing what I do, which is just play guitar, you know? But it's definitely not a playable guitar. To be honest, I actually think the model is Johnson. I think Johnson & Johnson. I don't know if it's the baby powder company who made it, but it was like 15, 16 years ago. This year is called Break of Dawn. That was Break of Dawn. And I gotta tell you, like me playing through my pedals, finally getting it all set up yesterday, it's making me play with so much more space between the notes. You know, typically if I were to play this piece, I find that I typically rush specific melodies. So if I play that, I even play the tempo a bit quicker, but I don't know if you guys do have headphones on, you can probably hear some of the reverb and the delay and a bit of the shimmer that's happening there. And it really allows you, it's almost like you have to play the space because you want to hear the tail end of the last note that you played. So you just have this crazy long sustain, and it just allows you to really play with that space. Something I really encourage all guitar players do is to actually not only play acoustic, just pure acoustic, but also play with reverb and delay, because you will play differently. You will almost always play differently. I know every single one of my songs that are like this slow and ballads, that when I do play with this effects, it's like, whoa, it's just like a new level, because it's full immersion, especially with headphones, right? You're not listening to anything else. You're just listening to what's going on around there. It's pretty cool. Cool. So yeah, lifelong fan. You should have the bridge fixed, Evan Martin. Yeah, totally. I should have the bridge fixed, but it's one of those things. It's like it's not an instrument that I really want to play, to be honest. I have so many other guitars that are being neglected right now, but don't tell them. So I'm trying to just make max use out of the guitars that are my most playable guitars, and this is definitely one of them. So, but yeah, it is a good idea just to fix it up in case I do throw another party and I do have someone accidentally play it, and me having a heart attack. It's probably a good idea. So here's a good question from Arcane. What microphone you recording with? Sounds so crisp. It's like I'm there. Well, hopefully you are here. I can feel the presence of many of you here. So the microphone, actually, so what you're hearing my voice with an Audio-Technica 3035. To be honest, this is not like, it's not the best mic that I own. It's just, it's here. And my other mic is in my bedroom where I have kind of my studio, my recording setup, proper recording setup set up. But what you're hearing probably is the pickup system of the guitar. Yeah, so the pickup system, the Cole Clark, is really good. It's got 3 pickup systems. It's got a microphone for the high end. It's got a transducer right here, which is for the mid-range, and then the piezo is more for the low end. So it's really cool to have the capability to mix those 3 elements together. It's really a godsend, because it's like to have that clarity. Again, I'm not really doing much in post-production. You know, everything is just kind of right here. I have the mid scooped all the way. That's just the nature of this pickup system. It's a bit mid-rangey. But the crispness is definitely the combination of everything, which is really nice. That's why I play Cole Clark. That's why I'm a Cole Clark player. It's simply, I think, one of the best built-in pickup systems of any acoustic guitars that I've played. Obviously, you can go out of your way and get external pickup systems to install and stuff, but that's not for me. To be honest, I just want to plug in and play. I don't want to mess with like little details of getting the perfect frequency and stuff like that. If the room is EQ'd, you know, that's it. That's all I need. If it's EQ'd properly, I don't really need to do much from there. Aww, beautiful man. You're one of the few that has made me cry, dude. Thank you so much. I really appreciate that. Hopefully those tears were tears of joy, or well, not always tears of joy, but you know, it's music is such a powerful thing, and you know, I'm very glad and thankful that you're able to feel what I feel through the music as well. It's wonderful. So here's a question from BMW Heatley 16. Have you ever had any guitar-related injuries? If so, how did you deal with them? I've recently started experiencing some fingertip pain, so I've been focusing on applying less pressure while playing. So yesterday I did a live stream and I did talk about this briefly. So I did talk about this little tip that I go over. So I would encourage you to look at that video, because I do talk about very specifics on how to relieve pressure from that. I also talk about some exercises as well. So it's the one I just did yesterday. It's with a similar setup like this, so you can check out that. I think it's in the middle of the video, I think. But I did talk about that, so yeah. So here's a question. Hello, do we have access to the tab as a patron? So for anyone who's looking to join Patreon, I do have a few members here already in the comments sections here. So with the way it works with Patreon, whatever tab I release that month, it will be available for the members. So this song, Break of Dawn, was already released, so it's not really something that I have up on there. But I did a promotion special yesterday where if you join Patreon with the $5 tier or above, I will give you a free tab, and that still stands for today. So for anyone looking to join Patreon, I will happily, on the house, give you one free tab, and if you want Break of Dawn, I can give you that one as well. So that'll be something. And if for those of you not quite sure on to join or not, I do post exclusive lessons. I just posted a lesson, a 36-minute lesson on how to write melodies with chords on top. It's a 36-minute in-depth, step-by-step process on my kind of approach to writing melody. So hopefully that helps. So I'm just going to read here. So here is Raha. What setting do you use with the Cole Clark? So the Cole Clark is special in the sense that you can kind of blend between these three pickup systems. So my bass is right at the middle. My mid is all the way down. Treble also in the middle. So that's the EQ. That's the EQ side. The mic is directly at 12 o'clock. So not 100%. I would say it's about 90% because the 12 o'clock is roughly that 90%. Same with the volume. The volume also 90%, 12 o'clock. So we got 12 o'clock for mic if you're looking at it down like this. And then the bridge and the face is at 9 o'clock, straight at 9 o'clock. So this to me is the perfect blend for what I play. Now, I don't just play the ballady stuff. You know, I also do this sort of kind of rhythmic, percussive stuff. So I find that blend right there is like the perfect blend for what I'm doing, for my sort of sound. Plus, you got to remember though, I'm using acrylic gels as well. If you're not using acrylic gels, it's going to make a difference on the tone of the guitar. And so because of that, it allows me to have more brighter touch. And the mid-range on this guitar is just too much, so I have to turn it down. But I do have a little bit of EQ on what you're hearing right now through my audio interface. So just keep that in mind as well. So let me know where you guys are tuning in from today. I'd love to kind of know a little bit more about where you are in the world. All right, very cool. So we got France, we got Italy, we got Russia. Very cool. Got a very international crowd here. That's great. So, when will you get a harp guitar? When you make one for me. I don't really. I mean, I could get a harp guitar, but it's just like I'm trying to do the best I can with this guitar here. I feel like the harp guitar just adds a whole new spice to the soup that's already too salty. I feel like I'm trying to just really work with what I've got with this. So many instruments I have here, I feel like I'm neglecting so many of them. That's why I haven't really invested in that. I think my next guitar would probably be like a baritone, if anything. I have a baritone, but it's not the greatest. It's okay, but yeah. So yeah, so that's kind of a new song that I'm working on. I just recently kind of got more into these spread triads and stuff. A lot of fun to do. And then I wrote a song from that. So typically, the way I write songs, a lot of the times is I'll come up with an idea, like an etude, an exercise, and that exercise, more times than not, will actually turn into a song. And that's really the best way to practice. Now, for any of the patrons here who have seen my last lesson that I just posted a few days ago, hopefully you guys are getting some information on like how to make an exercise like that exercise I talked about in that lesson, about kind of the melody into a sort of the melodies that you could write for yourself. You know, what was it? So that was part of the lesson that I taught at Patreon, at that lesson there. I added a new part in there. I just came up with this new part for any of the patrons who did watch it, or are going to watch it. I kind of, what I did that second time, which is something that I can talk about in another video as well, since you do have voting power on what I do next. It's a really cool thing to throw in variations, because that whole piece more or less is in just B, A, G, and then F sharp. But what I do that second time in that bridge, I do that similar sort of rhythmic pattern, but I do it in a different key, in the key of E this time. very effective because you know that when I do that on the B, it's really cool. So this is part of what I talked about as well, which was the musical sequence. When you're doing sequential runs, musical sequences, you can do them in different with different bass notes to really get the most out of it. So that's how I would maybe write a piece with that kind of structure that I have, which I know that there were 4 examples in that video at Patreon, and then with that, this could be like the 5th example, basically doing it on just the low E. And it's the exact same thing. So that's why it makes it so cohesive. That's why I think a lot of musicians will write a similar rhythmic structure in a different key to give it that sense of familiarity, you know? So hopefully you guys enjoyed that. So here's a question. Thank you, Ula Hoop. Do you have a method to get the key of a song? My method is just experimenting, trial and error. To be honest, I would just try to find the bass notes first. What I could do, I can just randomly pick a loop that I have, and let's try to see how I figure out the key. Let's try that. Let me see. Okay, so this is just a loop I've done in the past. I'm going to listen to it once in full just to make sure I kind of know what's going on. I'm going to start with the bass notes. So already there, from one note, I was able to figure out kind of more or less one of the notes. I'm going to go half a step up. Doesn't work. That works, whole step. That seems to work. So right from there, I was able to go up 2 frets to quickly find the key. That's the next bass note. Then we have this note. So if I'm just figuring out the bass line really quickly, I'm able to figure out, which sounds like a Mixolydian. This is Lydian. Looks like we have major, even 2 major chords there. So from there, I kind of figure out what scales work. I figure out, first of all, is it major? Is it major third or minor third? Minor third doesn't work, major third. I would just play the triads. Slowly, I'm going to figure out the 4th note. Okay, that seems to sound. This doesn't work. Works. Same thing here. So slowly, one by one, I start adding the notes. Now from here, I might be thinking the major. What's the relative Ionian scale? Now sometimes putting the capo in different positions will really help you as well. Now I actually have a second layer on this. I don't know what it is, but I'm going to play it. Let's see what happens. 1, 2, 3, 4. Sometimes it sounds okay, sometimes. here. I'm gonna pause this. The next step for me is to figure out the triads. So if I'm looking at the triad inversions, this is the A, B. This is my next step. So that's kind of my process, and from here I can just kind of go along with the flow, and if I wanted to add it back in, I can get rid of the first layer. I'll do that here. Keep going on and on and on, and so forth. So that's kind of my approach as far as figuring out what key it is. I know that probably dragged on a little bit longer than it needed to, but once you start playing in these jams, it's really hard to stop. I find it anyway. So I've got like a lot of different loops ready to go. This is something I think over the years I've just kind of filled it up to about 99 or so. But that's the cool thing about a loop pedal like this, which is the Boss RC30. It really allows you to store these presets. So I'm so glad I have these, because I can't imagine if I just spent like hours on one of these and then just completely forgot about it. So I'm really glad I kind of have these to play along with you guys. So I'm being tested here as well, which is great, because it's always good to be put on the spot. Because I don't usually do loop pedal stuff live. But with these lives, like in a real performance with people right in front of me. But this is great because it's kind of pushing me a little bit out of my comfort zone and do loop pedal stuff, which is really fun to do. So let's see here. So thank you, Steve. I'm loving this. 2 live streams in 2 days. I really like this new visual perspective. You have a lovely place. What is the black guitar on the wall behind you? I did talk about that black guitar a little bit earlier in the video. So if you can, maybe you can rewind back there. But it's basically the first acoustic guitar, very nostalgic, sentimental guitar that is no longer playable, unfortunately. But yeah, what are the chances? 2 live streams in 2 days. It's because I have everything set up now that I feel like I'm going to be doing a lot more of these. Plus, I paid for the service to do these like with the overlay of everything, the overlays of these guys, of the comments and everything. So I paid for that service, so I might as well make use of it. Might as well do more of these for you guys. Yeah. So here's a question from Perrine. When you are composing, do you record all the ideas you have? That's a great question, and I do. I record everything onto this, into the phone. So I can even show you. Well, I won't actually play anything, but I want to show you just how many of these I have. So hopefully you guys can see, probably not. But it's hundreds and hundreds of ideas. And that's not even all of it. That's just from the last year. So I record everything into my iPhone. Usually, if I have it set up like this, where I'm doing loop pedal stuff, I'll record it really professionally with all my gear. And I'll record it into Cubase. But yeah, typically I do like to record all of these ideas that I have, especially if they're really strong ideas. Like that new song I played earlier, that new idea. So that idea came specifically from that. I think the first version was this. So that was kind of the first idea, and I remember listening to it on the phone that I have, the recording, and then I would slowly listen to it and being like, something's off. There's one note different. There's one note that's missing, or one note too much. So I kind of go back through the editing process and do it over and over again until I find I have that. Now I've got the final version. What a lot of you maybe don't see is the behind the scenes stuff, right? A lot of you don't see what is happening before the song is released, right? The process. And I did two live streams, I think last month, right? On kind of how to write a piece of music with you guys all together, live, on the spot. That was a lot of fun. If I can remember that, let's see. Here's a little test. Something like this, I think. Then it goes to something over here. I don't remember all the details. This is how bad my memory is for this stuff. That's why I need to record, repeat, and rinse until I have it really down. But yeah, hopefully that answers your question. Here's another question here. Where do your percussive ideas come from? Do you listen to a lot of percussion albums? And what albums am I digging right now? To be honest, I don't listen to too much music. Can't really answer that. I'm just really kind of involved with my own stuff these days, so that's kind of where I'm at. But as far as kind of the percussive ideas, a lot of the ideas actually come from my Persian upbringing. I used to listen to a lot of Persian music, not by choice, because of my parents being both musicians. And artists, so we always were constantly around the arts, literature, anything to do with the arts. So that was kind of my childhood. And a lot of the rhythms were these like 6/8 rhythms, these. Part of Tico's Blues for my dog, but yeah, a lot of the rhythms are definitely come from like the 6/8 feel. Even this piece right here was a very 6/8 rhythm. 1 2 3 4 5 6. 1 2 3 4 5 6. Right? It's almost like that galloping horse or train ride feel, which is really fun to do. I really like to do that stuff. Even this sort of stuff. This is very country, you know. That kind of stuff. Really kind of fun to do, rhythmic stuff. Plus, whenever I do jam sessions and stuff like that, it's really fun to just play rhythm. I don't really always want to be the lead player or the guitar player. Sometimes it's fun just to do rhythmic stuff. And doing the loop pedal stuff that I've been doing here for you guys a little bit, you're probably hearing a lot of percussive ideas as well. Where to put in these little hits, where to put the palm hit, or the string hit, right? All these different elements play such a big role overall. So I think the musicality from my Persian roots really helped. Really helped a lot. I would say anyway, but. little bit of a new song as well. It's still untitled. I've played it a lot during these live streams that I've done in the past, but still don't have a name for that one. So, does any of my patrons here, what do you guys want to hear? What do you guys want to hear? Something that maybe I could play. That's either in standard tuning or in the Zaire tuning. I could play Zaire, I could play the Vasat. I could also do something with you guys where I just make up a loop progression and we could write a loop together. We can always do that as well. And you guys can kind of throw me out some ideas on what sort of element I should do next, so we could build a song together. That might be interesting. I've got this ability to do a countdown, so I'm going to do a countdown, and I'm going to decide once you guys let me know. Okay, so one of the songs that I can definitely play is Homespun. Homespun I can definitely do. Adapt and accept, tuning-wise, it's going to break a string. I'm going to break a string for sure. So let me do Homespun, and then what we'll do is we'll do a song on the loop and then we'll do some loop stuff. How's that sound? So, if we have time, that is. Let me play a short version of Homespun and see. Was a little bit of homespun there for you in standard tuning. Hopefully you guys enjoyed that. So maybe I thought what we could do is before I log off, we do something together, a little loop session. But before we do that, I just want to mention again, if you did enjoy this and you are interested in either tipping me up there at paypal.me/Maneli Jamal or joining my Patreon page, where you can get some perks like exclusive guitar lessons, voting power on the next lessons I do, your name at the end of the credits, all sorts of goodies over there at my Patreon page, or if you don't prefer that, you can do a one-time donation as well at paypal.me/Maneli Jamal. The links will also be down there in the links in the description below. So if you did like this and you do want to contribute, any sort of amount is great. Doesn't matter. It doesn't have to be. You guys can just watch. That's all good too. I'm just here to provide some good vibes here on this beautiful Sunday afternoon here. So with that, let's do something together. So I'm thinking, give me a key. Someone just start throwing out some letters of the alphabet and let's see what we can do. That's typically, I think, the best way to start right now. B minor from Doug. We got a B minor from Doug. We got an F sharp from La La 99. Okay, this should be interesting. Let's work on those two. Okay, well, and then we have a from Raha. So together, okay, this is pretty good. So we've got, okay, so we've got our 4 chords. Then we got another B minor. So here's what we got. We got B minor. That was quick. I'm impressed. That was really good. So we've got a progression now. We got B minor, F sharp, A, and then back to B minor. So I'm going to do this sort of rhythm. Listen to it first, make sure it cycles correctly. So that sounds pretty good. So I think I can work with that. Now let me try to think. Maybe I'll throw in this guy, the little Ebow. Let's see what we can do. Alright, so that's sounding pretty good. Let me just make sure it loops correctly. Kind of sounds like what is that? What's that song? God, Hotel California. Why didn't I know? I can just loop over for hours. On top, maybe some sort of percussive elements. I'm thinking, because we got the 1, 2, 3. Might not be the right place, but now I might want to do some more harmony on top. Sort of Hotel California-esque. might as well just throw this in, right? Take this off for a second. My tools now. I don't know what else I have left. I could do this. I think that's enough of that one. This. I could do it halftime, I think. Now we're on an acid trip, driving down Las Vegas. Not something I would really want to use too much. We started with the initial 4 that you suggested. I don't know what else I got. That's it. I think, thank you so much for participating in this nice, fun little loopy jammy thingy that we just did. This will be forever etched into YouTube's history. And with that, I want to thank you all so much for sticking around, being with me here today for the last hour and 15 minutes here. I'll probably do another one next weekend. Depends on how hot it is here. But thank you so much. Hope you have a wonderful afternoon ahead of you. And thanks to all the patrons at my Patreon page for joining me here and suggesting some songs, good questions, and of course this progression. I think this will be a lot of fun. I think we should do this next time as well. So I'm going to leave a countdown of 1 minute before I log off. Thank you all. Really appreciate your support. Next time, give me some chords that are a little bit more trickier than this. Just kidding. To be honest, this is fun to do because it's so many ideas. guys. Peace. Until next time.